Hello, and welcome to the Geek Pride podcast. My name is Mike Orvis. I am temporary overlord because the wonderful Sean Wallace is, I think he's battling demons or something, and Matt Geary is under a bugger ton of work. I was trying to find something that wasn't swearing there. So unfortunately, you're going to have to put up with me and my beard. Listen to it now. That's my beard. So we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to do things a little bit differently. I'd like you to introduce who you are, what geekery you've been up to this week, and the last message you sent, text message you sent. So I am Mike Orvis. The geekery I've been up to this week is I went adventuring today in a Finn outfit from Adventure Time. There'll be a lot of Adventure Time today, just to warn you. And the last text message I sent was, get in the fucking car.
Did you send that just so you can say that on the podcast?
No, really not.
Well, I'm Harry Dyer, actor, writer, entrepreneur. My geekery this week has been my birthday, which has been rife with geek gifts. And the last text message I sent was, I will push you, but only if you allow yourself to be pushed.
Ooh.
There you go.
Cryptic.
Interesting. Hi, I'm Katie. I am an editor and a writer, and this week I am also Femme Chewy, which is also what I've been doing, which is geeky this week. I've been sewing and making my cosplay for Saturday. I'm going as Chewy, but a femme version, so there you go. The last text message that I sent was, morning sunshine, how are we this fair eve? Which I think was a little bit flattering on the eve, because it's not very fair. Thunderstorms and whatnot in Manchester.
Same here. Miss Briggs.
Hi, I'm Leonie. I'm a writer at Geek Pride. This week I have been slaving away on my cosplay and literally have done nothing else. But my last text message, and I considered not saying this, is I hope it will fit.
We've all been that later.
We've all been there, John.
So yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So it's me now?
It is you.
Alright, I'm Rom. I am the director of PR for SCG, which is now Super Cosplay Girls. I guess I'm also really into magic right now. And the last text, I don't remember the last text I sent, but the last text I received was a series of pictures from one of my friends that showed various stages of making his magic cards more organized over time. And that was really about it. Like I was like, why are you sending me this? And I had to like delete it off my phone like as he was sending it, because I have one of these like I have a grandma phone.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have a smartphone, never had a smartphone. And so like it'll take up like all the memory that's on there, and whatever. It's fun.
Okay then. So lovely times. Right, we're gonna get straight into it because I don't really want to discuss what Leonie was talking about in that text. So we're gonna crack straight on to geek news. I am going to pick someone at random, and that will be Mr. Dyer. What is your geek news this week?
This week, and I'm sure you will be excited about this, they released a small teaser trailer for the new Batman game.
Fucking yes.
Arkham Origins. For those of you that haven't seen it, it's online now. It's basically kind of like a montage of Bruce Wayne growing up through the ages, and the last shot is him in a fight with, I believe, Deathstroke. Getting punched in the face. Oh, no, sorry, no, I think it's Bane. Getting punched in the face, and then he swings back in, and then it plays this cool song, which I'm trying to find on YouTube at the moment. But I'm very excited for that, because also it was my birthday this week. I turned 26, so now in the eyes of the government, I'm no longer a child anymore, or I'm not a young person anyway. Certainly not by railcard standards. Although I did go and top it up the weekend before I turned 26. Another year of cheap travel. But Arkham Origins is my birthday present off my mum and dad. Obviously, it's not out yet. So,
what version did you get?
I'm not sure. I basically said to my dad, just go online, pre-order it, and he was sort of like, oh, can I not just buy it on the day? I was like, you won't be able to buy it on the day, Dad. and even if you do, the beauty, the vitality of pre-ordering something is that you get lots of bonus stuff that the ones in the shops might not necessarily have. So yeah. So
If you would permit me, Mr. Dyer, I'd like to have a tiny rant, a Geary-esque rant about
okay.
about Arkham Origins. I'm a little bit pissed off because I bought the Arkham City pack, the super special, oh my god, it's fucking Batman pack, and I got with it a box.
Right.
I got the soundtrack to the game. No, the soundtrack inspired by the game. I got Gotham Knights, which is like the Animatrix but for Batman. I got this really cool statue. I got the game, obviously. I got an amazing art book with a picture that I'm definitely going to have tattooed on my body at some point. And I got fuckloads of DLC for £60. Nice. Wow. That was 2 years ago. This year, luckily most of it's been bought for me. I've sort of, like you, it was my birthday recently, and so my friends are amazing, and some of them are buying me the Batman Arkham Origins special super fucking hell, it's Batman edition.
Nice.
But this version is £20 more, but you're having about 3 items less.
Wow.
And they're doing that thing that really pisses me off in games, where they think that giving it away in a metal box makes it special. Fuck you. Stop it. It pisses me off.
No.
It gets me so angry.
Someone,
I think
one of my friends did that with. Yeah, one of my friends did that with Resident Evil. They were like, "Look at that, comes in a tin box." I was like, "What's different about the game? Nothing, just the box."
Do you get anything with it? No, it now can conduct electricity. Brilliant. Well done.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Why am I paying £20 more for a bit of metal?
Well, I suppose it's harder to manufacture than cardboard, but either way, or plastic. But either way,
I don't care.
We'll,
you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't care what lengths you went to. It just blur. You know, I think you get an art book, so same as Arkham City. You get some DLC, same as Arkham City. You get a figure, same as Arkham City. You get and you get the game, and you get the dossier on the 8 Assassins, which is great and all, until I saw the North American version, which has a statue, I shit you not, that big, that is the Joker. That is the Joker in front of some TV screens, and it's got like LED lights and stuff. And my girlfriend was being amazing, and she said like, "Oh, guess what? I've pre-ordered it." And I was like, "That's great, but I won't be able to play the game. So fuck you, America, because you're getting the same game for the same price as I'm playing. No, you're getting the same game for the same price as I'm paying, but you're getting more stuff. So fuck you. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
Or it's just an implied invitation to come on down. Come down. Come stay with us.
Yeah, I'll just go and live in America.
I'm just saying, hey man, there's definitely advantages.
Right, okay, Mel. It's your geek news now. It's your geek news now, Mr. Rom.
Okay, my geek news. Let's see. Do I have any geek news? Okay, so I've been keeping up. I've been keeping up with the Legend of Korra, and I've been following some of the development news that's been coming out with us. And I'm really excited for this. There's a 2-part series. They've shown the first part of it, which is about the origin story of the first Avatar. And I think like it's got to be one of the most interesting ways of expressing the story of Avatar throughout both series, because what you see over the course of both series is this evolution of the art. Right now, in this particular series, the art is this mix of like Western and Eastern art. But because they've gone so far back in time, there's all these like interesting artistic references to Japanese art and Japanese culture and traditional sort of Asian motifs, which is an incredibly separate and interesting way of establishing a difference between the different time periods that are happening in the story. So they set up the cliffhanger perfectly. I'm looking forward to the next installation of Part 2. And it looks like everything that they chose in terms of the symbolism and the art was very intentional. And I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with that. So
awesome. Do any others of you watch Avatar? I tried.
This is the airbending one and not the space Smurf Pocahontas thing.
No. It's the airbending
Gully,
one. Yeah.
not Pocahontas. It's Fern Gully.
Yeah, actually, I would argue Legend of Korra is probably the best written show on TV right now.
Wow.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I can't believe that every episode's gotten better and better. It's amazing.
Legend of Korra.
Yeah, that's the second. From what I have read, you've got the Legend of Aang, who was the first Airbender.
No, he's the last Airbender.
The last Airbender.
Because in the title it says The Legend of Aang, the Last Airbender.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And Korra is the next one.
Yeah, she's the next iteration of the Avatar. Or? Well, it's sort of like the Dalai Lama sort of thing, where the spirit is reincarnated into like a new person, and she is the next iteration of the Avatar. So.
Okay, cool. And so I'm assuming you'd recommend it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I sure would.
Awesome.
Sure would.
Okay. Katie, what is your geek news?
I ended up writing a list.
Okay.
Yeah, lists. Oh yeah.
I had one thing and then I was like, no, but I've got to do this as well. And first thing is obviously the Doctor Who trailer came out yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Harry didn't say that. Yeah, no, I mean it's a little short trailer, but it's very exciting. It's got lots of little bits, and mostly it's just old footage that they've just kind of made 3D and very exciting. But yeah, and I think it's hashtag Save the Day on Twitter. What people are talking about it on. The other thing is they've released a Star Wars schedule. Apparently, next summer, there is going to be some kind of Darth Vader animated series coming out on telly, which until today I had heard nothing about. So I'm very excited about that.
Do we know if they're still having that open casting in England? Because I was watching, I was keeping my eye on the news about that, where they were supposedly casting for 8 or 9 characters to be in the new films.
I know that they were casting for Chewie, because there's that chap Johnny, he's got his Facebook page and he's been interviewed by all over newspapers all over the country. And he's basically petitioning to be in the new Star Wars film through Facebook, which is quite exciting. Right. He's 7'3", so he's the right height. So yeah.
Could I ask a question from everybody? I'm curious to know what everybody thinks. Like, what are your feelings about the new Star Wars movies? Do you have high hopes or you have no expectations?
My gut instinct was to say no. I hate this idea. Why would they do this? But it's growing on me. I'm getting excited as we get, more bits of information and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the other day for the first time in God knows how many years, Phantom Menace, because it was on the telly, and I just sort of had it on in the background, and I was kind of watching that, and then we got chatting about what do we think's going to happen in this new one. I mean, undoubtedly we'll probably end up going to see it. I'm just curious as to why, after they had such a nice, the fact that they made the prequels, that's another discussion, but it's kind of like, you had the original trilogy and it ended where it ended, and it's, it's nice. And my only thing is unless they've got a really, really good, solid idea planned out, then it's effectively just going back to a wonderful piece of art, getting your paints out and going, right, let's just see if we can touch it up more. And ultimately, if you've not got a plan in your mind,
What,
if you're
you
just
mean
going,
like
oh, that's
Lucas
just
has been doing for the past 20 years.
there you go. So I noticed that yesterday when the Phantom Menace was on. We were getting ready to go out, and it got to the scene with the Jedi
Is that why you were
Council. I
late?
was like, yeah, exactly. It's like they've changed Yoda. I had to have a few minutes just to calm down because,
Yeah, yeah.
I remember it was a puppet originally, and then he's just made it 3D. He just can't leave it alone. If
know.
George Lucas, if his films were on his body, like if it was something on his body, he would have scarred himself beyond healing. Now he would be like Harvey Dent because he just can't fucking leave it
Agreed.
alone, can he?
Okay. It's like wanting to get more
so we'll see what
tattoos or getting like bigger boob implants all the time, bigger and bigger,
That's
until
it.
eventually
Yeah.
special
You end
effects
up
just take
looking
over the whole
like
thing.
Lola Ferrari.
And then eventually your face just melts. Just completely.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah, like in Indiana
Yeah.
Jones.
Or you end up looking like that woman from The Weakest Link, which is an English joke. Apologies to our American viewers.
Yeah.
You mean the host lady?
On the
Anne
start,
Robinson, you've heard
on
of
the
her over
start,
there, haven't you?
Yeah, we did. I mean, sure, it got canceled. But is it? Are you talking about the host?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And something.
Robinson.
And the devil or something. Anne Robinson. Oh, yeah.
Woman
She,
that time forgot.
she appeared on Doctor Who, didn't she? She was a robot on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Back in
Yeah.
She was one of the
Yeah.
Cybermen.
she was like it was during all the Bad Wolf stuff, and she
Yeah.
appeared, and I was like, oh, crazy. On the Star Wars note, just as a quick sort of roundup, what do you suggest is the best way of watching all the films?
The best way of
So I have
watching.
a, yeah,
Four,
I have
five,
a,
six,
I have a
1, 2,
theory.
3.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Okay. What is
4, 5, 6, untouched, and watch nothing else.
Yeah.
I would say watch 4, 5. So you get right up to Empire, and it's like, Luke, I am your father. Hand, sadness, right? Then watch basically the second half of 1. So you miss all that shit with the council. You miss like politics today in the Star Wars universe. Fuck that. Then you watch the second one. Then you watch 6. Because you're like, fuck, this Anakin guy's pretty pissed off. Oh god, he's getting really angry. Oh wow, he's got Padme, blah blah blah. Right? Then you watch the second one, and then obviously Vader's like, I am Anakin Skywalker, and you're like, oh my god! So like you've had 2 holy fuck moments, right? And then you watch the third one, and then you're like, oh wow, that's how he got to that. So it's like an epilogue. The third film is an epilogue.
Wow.
And you're like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
That's
No,
interesting.
I'm sorry.
I might have to-
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I might have to put that theory to the test next weekend when I've got a bit of free time.
Yeah.
If
I'll
you've
see
got
if
any
it
video editing software, get rid of anything to do with the Jedi Council or the whatever the fuck other council.
Yeah, there's a much easier way to do that. Just don't watch the movie. I don't know. I think honestly, May 19th, 1999, the dream died. It did. I stayed in line forever as the biggest Star Wars fan. I skipped school. I stood in line that midnight, whatever. I was the first person in the theater, first person to sit down, and I bought a ticket for every showing. Like, I mean, I was ready to go. I was ready to do this. And I sat down, and, like, by the end of the movie, tears in my face. Tears in my face. That movie was so awful. And then I was like, okay, maybe upon subsequent viewings, it will grow on me. It did not at all. They killed the coolest character in it.
Did you not like you? Oh, so you liked Qui-Gon Jinn then?
No, I did not like Qui-Gon Jinn at all. Not even a little bit. I like Darth Maul, but they killed him in a really punk-ass way.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not like little Anakin, even in the slightest. It was
No
infuriating.
one likes little Anakin.
Every time I look at his nickname Annie, like I pronounce it in Latin in my head. I'm like, that's better. That makes me feel better. But no. And then I was like, okay, my feelings are hurt. It was like it's like finding out your girlfriend cheated on you. And then you're like, okay, let's try to work it out. Let's try to do this. And then when episode 2 comes out, you find out she cheated on you again with somebody else. That's even worse.
Yeah, and she's pregnant.
And then episode 3, you're like, clearly it's not going to be any more awful than it was before, and it was. It absolutely was. So for me, Star Wars, my love of Star Wars totally reset. Like my hand has been burned on that stove one too many times. So I don't care how fun J.J. Abrams
Or
might
cut
be,
off with a lightsaber.
or cut off with a lightsaber. I think that J.J. Abrams has one of the most monumentally difficult jobs in the world because he has to win fans like me back. And I'm like, I don't know if you can do that, buddy. I mean, I like Lost, I like Fringe, you know, I love the Star Trek remakes, I loved all of those, but I mean, that's an uphill battle. I'm
he
really.
is a fan, though. You know, he's a big fan, so I think he's got a running shot. You know.
Hey, George Lucas is a
As
bigger
long
fan.
as
That's what
we
happened.
don't have, as long as we don't have any more fucking
What have I
lens
done?
flares in the film, it's you've opened the box, mate, and it's coming out.
Or Inception
Big
music.
time now.
As long as there's none of that music, none of that.
Do you know?
Whoa.
The funniest thing was that, like, as a kid, I went to see The Phantom Menace, and I didn't mind it so much. But now watching it back, like, we were sat watching it, it was on in the background, and literally whenever Jar Jar Binks came on the screen, anyone who wasn't saying anything was like, "Fuck him, man, fuck him." Like, there was a scene where Qui-Gon walks across, and Jar Jar Binks is just doing some dumbass stuff in the background, and you're like, it is literally. Why didn't George Lucas just go, let's cut him out altogether? If you keep the scene as it is, it's fine. You just have to have him doing.
Have you seen the film Fanboys?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic film.
You've got
Yes.
I can't remember who the guy is, but you've got that guy who's seen the film, and he's got that Jar Jar. It's either the chest piece or the back piece, and he's like, this guy is gonna be super popular. Everyone's gonna love him.
Yeah.
Hey, you know the author to the screenplay is this guy named Ernest Cline, who he also wrote Ready Player One. Have you guys ever heard of that? The book Ready Player One.
No.
All right. Well, he's a huge nerd. He's also a slam poet, and he's a huge fan of Buckaroo Banzai. If you've ever seen Buckaroo Banzai, you see at the very, very end there is there's like the next movie is like Buckaroo Banzai versus like an international criminal syndicate or something. He actually wrote the entire screenplay to that a long time ago, and he's been wanting to write something for Star Wars as well in the same vein, and that's where he came up with Fanboys, the script for Fanboys, and of course it was super hilarious. So check all that stuff out.
All Rush all the time. Right. Leone, have you come up with? I've forgotten. I'm a terrible host.
News.
News me hard, Leone.
I've literally been in like this pit of work and cosplay this week, so I'm like a week behind on everything. So I've literally only just got up with all the Pokemon stuff that came out, and then my life stopped. So.
What, because of Pokemon, or? Did your life stop because of Pokemon, or?
Pokemon, work, and cosplay.
That's fair. That sounds like a good life.
That's a good combination.
Yeah.
That has been my life. So, other than...
I say that should be, if they do like a Geek Bible, that should be inscribed in the front cover.
Yeah.
Pokemon, work, cosplay.
Yeah. So
hope and charity.
So other than Pokemon being a pretty cool game, there's a couple of little flaws that I'm going to put in a review.
You mean like all the new Pokemon?
No.
Sorry, I got very angry last week. I'll shut up.
We did this last week, didn't we?
Yeah, I got kind of angry over the starters. The starters aren't very good. But I've got like this cool dinosaur one, and he won me over. So
do you feel like they tried to make up for the poor quality by? I hear about sort of a couple of hours into the game, Oak turns up and is like, "Have a Bulbasaur," and you go, which feels very much like the game's going. No, go on. Sorry about that. But
yeah.
there you go.
We're so
I think the biggest thing that's annoyed me over it is that some of the fan art that people have come up with before the game came out of the start of Pokemon was absolutely fantastic, and then they've gone and used like the shittiest evolutions you could possibly think of.
I was going to say, what's the deal with this like this thing where they're transforming into different things?
No.
What is that?
See, I don't mind it. I must say, I don't mind it. It's quite cool, but it is taking it sort of a little bit too much onto Digimon ground.
Yeah, I was going to
that's
say
how I
it's like
felt.
Digimon. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the Pokemon designs, like the Charizard, is really cool. But I chose Bulbasaur as my original starter, and they've kind of just it doesn't really mega evolve. He just spouts some more vines on his back.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
You know what they should have done?
That he's
I've
got
just
some
got to
sort
show
of
you.
growth.
We should have done this.
What, your boobs?
No.
Boobs again. Every
Teenage
time you do this.
Every single
Every
podcast,
week
you
we
just-
see your boobs.
I think
You
you
know
have a
what they
lovely
should've done?
T-shirt.
yeah,
It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirtles.
yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I can
They
see
seem
that.
to have poured everything into the Squirtle and the Charizard. So like Charizard's awesome. And then you've got Venusaur, that's just a bit. It's just been left behind. So I felt sorry for him. And
Yeah.
Oh,
Basically. Poor old
Venusaur just wants a hug.
yeah.
Right, okay, so you've been doing that. My geek news is a theory that I've stumbled upon in my watching of the seminal classic that is Adventure Time. I don't know if any of you are fans.
I am a huge fan.
me,
Thank
huge.
you. Quite
Yeah.
frankly, if you're not a fan, you don't get it. That's that's the stance I'm taking because
Yeah.
it's not a kids show.
No.
It's a beautiful, beautiful drama set in a post-apocalyptic world, hiding and disguised as a kids show. It deals
Yeah.
with stuff that I didn't deal with until I was 15 years old. It's beautiful, and so I'm going to have to give you a little bit of background if you don't know what Adventure Time is. But basically, you've got Jake the dog and Finn the human. Jake is a magical dog that can stretch. Finn is the only human in the land of Ooo. Spoilers. You might want to skip the next 20 minutes. But basically,
Or more.
Yeah.
But basically, the land of Ooo is Earth, but it's been like blown up by what was called the Great Mushroom War, which is which was nuclear warfare. And what Pendleton Ward, the creator, said is that the magic has returned to the land. I've also got to say, Pendleton Ward has a fantastic beard. Anyway, you've got a character called the Ice King. And he's crazy, and he's always chasing after princesses, trying to kidnap them. He's a little bit rapey. And you've got this character called Marceline, who's a vampire, and she plays bass, and she's kind of existential and has one of the most beautiful singing voices I've ever heard in my life. Please marry me. There's an episode called I Remember You, in which Ice King goes over to see Marceline, and you've never seen these two characters interact, and you're like, what the fuck's Ice King doing? Marceline's not a queen. What the fuck? What? And he asks her to write a song, and she accepts, and you're thinking, why is this happening? And over the course of the series, I think there's about 5 of them now, you find out that Ice King, just after the Great Mushroom War, and I might genuinely get a bit emotional because it fucking hits me right in the feelings.
Yeah.
After the Great Mushroom War, Ice King wasn't Ice King, he was a guy called Simon. And he had a wife who he used to call his princess, and he loved her very much, but he found this crown, which is the crown that Ice King wears. And whenever he put on this crown, he gained magic powers, the power of ice and snow, but it made him go a little bit mental, made him get his beard bigger, because apparently that's a sign of being mental. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm not crazy, the other voices in my head are. So, yeah, and he does something to shock his wife, and his wife leaves him, and he's really sad about it. But anyway, then he finds this little troll-looking little girl thing, and it turns out to be Marceline. And he rescues her, and he looks after her, and then there's a whole other load of episodes where he's protecting her and looking after her, but the more he uses the crown, the more he goes mental, and the more he forgets who he is. I'm getting emotional. And I was trying to show, my friend now really gets it, and I was talking to him, it's like, I said, blah, 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 it's like Fiona and Cake. Now, Fiona and Cake are the gender-swapped characters in what essentially is the fan fiction world written by Ice King. It's very meta, I love it. Pendleton Ward's a genius.
Yeah.
But in the episode of Fiona and Cake, Cake puts on the Ice King's crown. Everyone's gender swap, remember?
Yeah.
Puts on the Ice King's crown and goes, Ice King.
Ice Queen.
Ice Queen's crown, and it's like, I'm a queen now. And Fiona slaps it off of her head and says, don't do that, you'll catch her crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Sounds, yep, that's just like a little throwaway line. But when you think about it, the Ice King wrote that, which means that
Yeah.
Simon is inside Ice King
Yeah,
a bit
yeah.
still.
Yeah.
And then my friend helped me. I'll fucking roll tears.
Yeah.
And that's my girlfriend patting me. we honestly had such a fucking emotional time like a couple of days ago. Just like, I'm sorry, I understood this. And then my friend Brian, who's probably listening, hi Brian, reminded me that the fact that he used to call his wife Princess, and he's now so crazy that the only word he can remember is princess, and that's why he's always searching for princesses, because he's looking for a person he can't remember.
Oh.
And yeah, that fucking sucks. Fuck you, Adventure Time. Stop making me feel feels. It's not supposed to be a kids show that's really random, but it isn't, guys. And I urge you, please, get past the first two series, because the first.
Wait, hold on.
Just...
There's no getting
first
past.
two series are
from the
awesome.
very beginning. From the very beginning.
No, I'm saying get to the beginning, because the beginning is just your establishment of characters, and you're like,
fun
The
and
first two series are awesome. You know.
No, it is. It is, but what I'm saying is, I'm trying to explain it to people who haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
Understand why I'm getting so emotional, listeners, because you get through the first two series, because the first two series let you explain who everyone is, and then the lich happens, and all the random events start to make sense, and you go, this guy's a genius. And then after that, you deal with things like puberty and sexual frustration and wet dreams and shit, but like in such a way that you go, hang on. And it's just and parallel universes and realities and stuff, and you're like, it's just, the man's an utter genius. He also does other stuff like Bravest Warriors, which I think is great as well.
You know, the new season started. It started
Bravest Warriors.
yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, watch that on any legitimate means that isn't streaming or downloading, because we don't do that, kids, here at Geek.
There's a YouTube channel. It's totally free. You can watch the whole thing. They have the whole last series up. What's that?
Cartoon Hangover?
Yeah.
So it's free, and it's legally free. So all of you can go.
And they can do one of the biggest reasons they made the show is so they could tackle some more mature material that they couldn't get onto Cartoon Network. Or not Cartoon Network. It's Cartoon Network, right?
It's Cartoon Network, yeah.
Yeah. And so they get a little bit deeper, and the characters are also a little bit older.
Yeah,
they're some of the things to deal with are a little bit more grown up, I guess.
Yeah. Here's an interesting fact. When Nickelodeon saw the show, this is the show that has the Amanda Show and SpongeBob. They saw Adventure Time and went, no, we don't like it.
No.
What?
Okay. Favorite character from Adventure Time. Go.
Marshall Lee.
Marshall Lee.
Yeah, the male
Gender swap
Marshall
Marceline, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've got a little bit of a crush on him and his
This is going to sound really weird, but apart from the obvious, Finn, I fucking love Finn. I actually really like Manfreda, who's she's the pinata, and she's only in about 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah, right.
She's in the first episode with the zombies, and Finn goes, "Oh, is everyone in?" And Manfreda's hanging there, and she goes, "Oh, president accounted for." And he's like, "Cool." Thanks. Every time I watch that episode, I'm just pissing myself. I don't know why. And me and my bassist from my band Callus, whenever we see each other, we're always quoting at each other. We're just random times we'll just be really quiet. Oh, president accounted for. So yeah, and yours, Mr. Dyer?
My favourite character, I have to say, I quite like the dog, and then I also like the Snow King as well. Ice King. I mean, I have to say, I've only seen it on a handful of times when I've been round at my cousin's house. However, I do get your point. What you're saying is that beneath all the sort of random, colourful bits, there are these sort of more adult undertones, which I think cartoons need to have more of.
For example, Lemon Crab is genuinely terrifying.
And awesome.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yes, and awesome. One of my favorite characters is Lemon Grab, and he creeps you the F out. And I'm sorry, I have to interject one thing. If you guys have ever heard of Idea Channel, it's another YouTube channel. The guy that hosts it, Mike Rugnetta, also has had 2 of his Idea Channel posts about. One of them is about BMO, and the other one's about Adventure Time, and they're both phenomenal. They're like he does these like he plays with
theories.
yeah, they're all different kinds of theories and ideas, but they're not just fan theories. They'll take like philosophy and art and all kinds of things and try to connect them with pop culture. And it's really it's done very well, and I would highly recommend it if you're interested in Adventure Time. So,
awesome.
Cool.
Thank you.
I read a blog the other day that was basically just like all these hidden jokes in all kids' cartoons.
Yeah.
Stuff like,
Yeah.
which bracket's not even that hidden, like compensating
Yeah.
for something with Farquaad and things like that. But you know, there's so many things that you've not noticed in lots of different cartoons from your youth. And it was one of BuzzFeed was, I think. And yeah, no, it's a lot of children's cartoons are a lot more adult when you actually.
Well, it's sort of that layering it, isn't it?
Exactly,
a lot of children's films have got those adult jokes where, because
It
obviously,
goes over
like
your
some of
head
these
as a
adults
kid.
have got to, some of these adults have got to go to the cinema with these screaming
Yeah.
sacks of joy.
But we laughed at the jokes as well, though. Like I remember as a kid laughing at these jokes and then
not knowing why.
Understanding them, just
Well,
laughing.
I'm assuming it's like social conditioning, isn't it? Everyone else is laughing. You're like, yeah, that's great. What?
Well, I mean, also a part of it is the cue of timing. Once you land into the punchline of a joke, you know that something is supposed to happen. Most people just fill it with laughter, even if you don't understand it. So.
Awesome. Okay. And now we're going to move on. If I can find the jingle, Geek Pride Show and Tell.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gather round for Geek Pride Show and Tell.
Okay, Geek Pride Show and Tell. The fickle finger of oh God, it's doing. My phone's just playing my voices at me. I will pick Mr. Rom. What is your Geek Pride Show and Tell? If you don't have anything, it's cool.
No, I can find something just in my immediate vicinity, but I do feel like the kid in school that didn't bring anything for show and tell and has that growing lump in his throat, you know, and like, oh man, I gotta bring something, so then he just like shows Lint to the class or something. so okay, here, I don't know if you guys can see this.
Yep.
You see that? It's GnomeCon. I've recently got in touch with the people that run it, and I've one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. It's primarily a gaming convention for like tabletop games, and hopefully I'll be volunteering there and seeing like a little bit about how to run a con. It's pretty small. I think it's in its 3rd year. It's local to me, and I'm really looking forward to it. There's going to be a lot of vendors from the local area. There's going to be lots of like Magic, which is like I love Magic.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's what I have for show and tell.
Awesome. I'm just going to do it methodically. I can't be bothered to pick randomly. There's not enough of you. Leonie.
Well, I didn't know I was doing this until like 10 minutes before.
Well, you've been working on podcast, not podcast. You've been working on cosplay. Can
yeah,
you say
but
anything about?
I'm sat in like the entirely different room. But what I have got is the chainsaw that I did an article on, so I can kind of, if I can get it in.
Nice.
It's kind of huge.
That's what she said.
Chainsaw.
That is in regards to the text as well. I was texting my mum saying that I hope it all fits in the suitcase.
I believe you. Okay, Katie.
Mine's also cosplay related. I need
Is
a
it your
little bit
boobs
of
again?
peppery. It's not my boobs again.
You can't
Not
just
my
use that
boobs.
every week, Katie.
It's not my
Seriously.
boobs. No, it's my Wookiee outfit.
It's your Wookiee outfit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I sewed
awesome.
it myself.
She did. Katie has been keeping us updated on Facebook. That's why she missed the podcast last week, because she was doing Wookiee-related things.
I made
That's
a hood,
awesome.
and it's got big
cool.
sleeves, and it's the softest, furriest thing in the world. I never want to. Ta-da! So I'll be wearing
That's
that
awesome.
at Comic-Con on Saturday, the MCM Expo one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and convince my my bassist. I've got a gig on Friday. I'm going to try and convince my bassist if he wants to kind of have a little trip
Yeah.
I've not
Which
got all the
definitely
money in the
should
world,
do.
so maybe
Because
we'll see what
Definitely.
happens.
me, Leone, and Kayla will be there, so
Yeah.
that's 3
Yeah.
very, very beautiful reasons to go.
Of course, no. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Mr. Dyer.
I've got loads of stuff to show you.
Uh-oh.
I'll go through it really
Oh.
quickly. These are some of my birthday presents. So
Oh, cool.
let me start.
Cool.
Right, let me turn the camera around. So there's one T-shirt that I got. Quite
Lovely.
cool.
Have you
quite
just
nice.
gone and changed?
Here's another one. Yeah, pretty much. I was wearing that last night, wasn't I? I got it just
Yeah.
because Tony Stark wears it. This is a particular favourite. It was sent to me from America. I don't know if you can see that. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's pretty cool. I like that. This was a voodoo doll that I got last night. He sat on my bedside table. This one I really like. It was a mug that was bought for me. As you can
It's
see,
huge.
it's huge.
Epic.
You
And
need
it has.
perspective. Put it against your face.
Okay, let me turn the camera back round.
Or against something else.
Wow.
That is a big mug, that, isn't it?
It's
And I say it's got all of the Doctors, except not the new one. And I was thinking maybe if we got Peter Capaldi and put him in the bottom of the cup, then when you finish drinking it, it's like, wow, there's
Surprise,
the new
bitches.
Doctor. There we are. And then the last one was a photo frame that was made by my friend Livy. This was back in 2007. It was the first night that we met. And my friend decided to put print it off and put it in a nice frame, so that's now on my bedside. So there's all my Geek
beautiful.
birthday presents for the week. There you go.
Okay. I guess what's left with me, and again, birthdays and mugs seems to be a thing because I want to show you this,
Oh,
Yeah.
birthday mug, which came with. I've very much eaten it all now, but it came with meth sherbet.
Oh, I made some
It was
meth
blue,
Kendall mint cake. It was brilliant.
and it made my tongue go blue, and I went to pick my girlfriend up and I was talking to her. She was like, "What happened to your face?" And I was like, "Ah, what's happened?" She's like, "Your tongue's gone blue." I'm like, "I don't," and I didn't remember I'd eaten it, so it really freaked me out for about half an hour. And I was like, "Oh yes."
It would have been funny if it had also made your hair fall out.
No, it would. That would not be funny. That would be horrifying.
That'd be awesome.
And also, Ron will like this particularly. I am sort of kind of the guy for Magic now at the old GP offices.
Oh,
And
wow.
Wizards have sent there's a bit of news. I'm doing a new feature on Geek Pride called Mike's Magic Reviews.
Nice.
It won't be every week because Wizards can't send me something every week. There's a massive project happening in the new year that I can't talk about because it's all in the planning stages. But this week, Magic sent me a few things, and they sent me this, which is the Theros event deck called Inspiring Heroics.
Okay.
And it's
this isn't Hydra. This isn't Hydra. Have you seen the things for Hydra?
Yeah, I've seen the things for Hydra. But yeah, I've not actually played it yet because I've been busy sending play testing the intro packs they sent me. That will all be up. I'm basically sorting out a logo and actually getting it as a feature on the site, and then it's all good to go. And Mike's Magic Reviews will be a thing on the old
Nice.
geek-pride.co.uk. You should all check it out during the week when you're not listening to us.
I'll be checking it out.
I shouldn't
Personally.
say babble because I feel like sacrilege to Mr. Smith. I'm sorry, Kevin, like you're ever going to fucking listen to this, but I will not use the word babble. But yeah, while we chat geek, it looks pretty good. I've had a look through the cards, and it seems to be very sort of focused on auras and stuff. It's got some flyers, and it's like flying and control. This is probably not going to mean anything to you guys, but to Magic listeners, the kind of idea behind Mike's Magic Reviews is that I'm very much a casual player. I'm not like, it's got to be in standard. It's got to have 60 cards in your deck because I've got better things to do with my life.
Exactly.
I read comics and do a million other things, and Magic isn't my life. I get very.
You know exactly that player too. The one that like argues for like some marginal advantage over like something that doesn't matter at all.
I've had a
and
half
you're just
hour.
Like, I'm here to have a good time with my friends. I don't really care like who wins or whatever.
I've had a half-hour argument about the fucking stack. Oh, this spell. Basically, if you play a spell and someone else plays another spell, it becomes a stack, and then this fucking and also you've got to have like an English degree to understand most of like the magic stuff.
yeah,
Like, oh, this says this, and this says this. Well, actually, this says this, and this word can be interpreted as this. And all this in response to crap really pisses me off as well. It's
Really?
like,
Okay.
I sacrifice this. Well, in response to that, I hit you. Jesus, fuck you. Just play the game like a gent. Don't start talking to me about standard and tournament ready and stuff. And like the amount of times I play at my local Magic club, and you know, there's a couple of players that I try to avoid.
Yeah.
Strangle them, and you end up playing with them because they're the only people ready there, and then they're like, "Did you know
No.
that card's banned?"
No.
Oh,
No, don't.
Did you know
don't do
what?
that. Don't do that.
You know what?
Don't.
Nobody cares.
Exactly, but they do. The thing is, they do care, and that's the problem.
Yeah, they do.
I'm just here to casually have a good time and play some cards. If you want to play the cards as well, then play the cards.
I mean,
You know?
the number one reason that I didn't go pro was because of the people that were there. Like, it was just so aggravating, because even if you get through, like, the first few rounds or whatever, and you do well, the people that remain are even, like, more robotic and inhuman, and, like, so, like, attention to detail and everything. It's just, like, I want to have a good time, so I found that there was a direct correlation to playing in tournaments more and liking the game less. So I stopped doing that. I stopped going that entire path and just was like, let's just sit around a table and like shoot the shit, you know?
This is why we do it in sort of our living room, me and my partner with the Magic cards, and we make up our own rules and our own scoring systems. And so I think if we went
like strip magic.
if we went
I've played
to an
strip
actual
magic. It's
club,
awesome.
I might have to try that now.
You like wear like 20 pieces of clothes? Like, what do you do? How does that work?
Every time you lose 5, you start with 20, and every time you lose, depending on how many clothes they've got, say they're wearing like 4 items of clothing, like t-shirt, jeans, and underwear, then every 5 they lose an item of clothing.
Right,
But if you're playing a life deck, you might pass out from the heat.
Once
you've lost the clothes, you've lost the clothes. It doesn't. You can't gain clothes.
A stack of clothes that you can then just put straight in the washing machine. It's brilliant. I like
A stack of clothes, but it depends on what layer of clothing goes on top of and in what order.
Shut the hell up, Mr. Rom.
Don't mix your colours, man.
But it was a good idea. But like it was when I was having a really good run of luck. And I didn't lose any life.
And then did it end?
And my girlfriend lost all life. So I'm just, and it's really awkward because you're like, well, I've just won and you're naked and I'm not. So put your clothes back on, we'll start again. You know, you just don't really know what to do in that situation. So I recommend strip magic if you're both as good as each other. If you're having a rather good string of luck, don't play strip magic because you'll just be there ogling your naked girl. Well, I guess that's all right, really.
Strip
magic. More strip
complaining about that.
See,
more strip geek games.
It's slightly awkward when you're like playing with your best friend or your parents.
Yes, I always play Magic the Gathering with my parents. My mum wouldn't know Magic the Gathering if it set her on fire. Right, okay. I'm conscious of the time. Is there anything anyone else wants to bring up for discussion before we move on to slanderous lies?
No.
No.
All right. Well, just as one final point about Magic.
Yes.
I recently also, Magic sent me the review for Jewels of the Planeswalkers, and I got the expansion and stuff. Lovely. And I mentioned in my review that's a great way to learn because it's Magic for other people. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
because
but
you can't argue with a computer. You can't go, oh, actually, you're wrong, and the stack. You're wrong.
Yeah, but then you've got to take that then, because my partner played the game, and he still didn't have a clue when it came to actually. We went out and bought a deck of cards. He still didn't have a clue when it came to playing it. He still spent half of his time on Google asking Google what the fuck we have to do.
That was like when sorry.
Do you know what I put that post on the group because I'm trying to create a game at the moment, and I had a very long discussion with Bevan the other weekend, basically saying like what is it that gamers enjoy most about sort of like tabletop games and stuff? What is it that would make it accessible to everybody, and and what would make it so that in situations like that, with someone turning up going, well, actually, you can't do that. You have to do it like this. It's like something that's easy to play, that's cool, that's got options. But
I would say
be...
make it as interactive as possible, because people like, with tabletop games, people like doing stuff with their hands. That's why all D&D is now played with figures properly, and and sort of all the major board games. War gaming is especially great for that. I play every winter. I have a best friend who's seasonal. I shit you not. So in winter he plays war games. In summer he skateboards, and you're never allowed to cross the two, because it's like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters. He would just explode.
Don't do it.
So in winter I play war games. I play the Lord of the Rings war game, which he actually helped to develop. He's a guy called Kevin Barraclough. His name's in like all the magazines from years ago when the first trilogy came out. And it's a right laugh, because you say you've got an archer and you're looking for line of sight. You've got to get right down behind them and be like, right, you could see that, and then you sort of get down on their level and like, fuck, this is a massive battle. How's he going to win this? And I play with I play with dwarves called the Grimhammers, up the hammers, and yeah, it's just a great game. Tabletop gaming is all about moving shit around, I would say that's my opinion. I'm not an expert. I again, like Magic, I play it casually. I don't know all the rules. I know enough to get me by. Like my French, I guess. I'd know enough to go to the swimming pool and the police station.
Wow.
So that's all I need.
Let's hope those two things aren't related. Okay. I'd have to say that the thing that really, for me, that I enjoy the most about tabletop games is, first of all, you have an opportunity to sit around a table with a group of your close friends and enjoy doing something with them. So absolutely, the social part of it's really fun. But also over time, especially with a game like Magic that has an element of design and strategy in it, you also get to understand your friends on a level that you wouldn't normally be able to, because you get to really express your personality by manipulating the mechanics available to you in the game.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot about how my friends think, how they solve problems, the kinds of things that they pay attention to, just from playing Magic with them. Yeah. And you develop a kind of really intimate understanding of how a person thinks over a long period of time. So for me, it's a way of expressing your personality and expressing the quality of your friendship with the people that you're sharing the game with.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That's the grown-up version.
It's fun to play with the figures because it's fun.
That's fun too. That's fun too.
What Rom said, Jesus. Put it this way: I much enjoyed playing Mousetrap than I did playing Snakes and Ladders. Because with Mousetrap there was something to do with my hands, it was kind of kinesthetic learning, so to speak, to get into education terms.
Snakes and ladders? Okay, if you're American, I think he means shoots and ladders.
Shoots and ladders, yeah, it's shoots and ladders. But over here, in the country where it originated,
right? Okay, sure.
Nicked.
Wait, I have a question. Is it true that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was introduced as Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles?
That's right, yeah, and they removed all the nunchucks from it. Yeah.
What did they replace it with?
Was never really used.
Like top hats and stuff?
No, Mikey used nunchucks, but he didn't use them properly. He just swung them about and was like, "Kill!"
Well, there's a lot of things wrong. There are a lot of things inaccurate with that show. I don't know if that tops the list.
There's a Ninja Turtles movie. It's an animated movie, and I'm trying for me to remember what it's called. And I can't.
Maybe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No. It's a crossover movie from TMNT, which was like the 2003 version.
Oh yeah.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, and the original ones from the Turtles Forever. That's the one.
That's it, yeah.
And it's got the ones from the original comic, the ones that are like really badass.
Yeah.
And they're all in black and white and stuff. I highly recommend watching it. It's hilarious.
They sound like Batman.
Yeah, they all do. Yeah, it's awesome because apparently I didn't know this until recently. Daredevil exists in the same universe as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I don't.
That's what I was told by again Kevin Barraclough. He seems to he has a lot of niche knowledge in some really weird geeky places. Turtles and Lord of the Rings. Like he's like
Is
a
his name
priest.
Kevin or Stephen? Because you called him
Kevin.
Stephen before.
Kevin.
I'm sure you said Stephen before.
I didn't say Stephen. If I said Stephen, sorry, Kev. I have said Stephen. I call him Kev Smith a lot because I kind of wish he was, but that's a different story. Right, okay. Let's we've sort of wagged our chins for a while. Let's move on if I can find the jingle to the slanderous lies. If I can find it, which I can't. Ah, here we go. Right, slanderous lies.
Slanderous lies.
Yeah, slanderous lies. Okay, so who wants to start with slanderous lies?
I heard that your beard is the reason why America's falling apart.
True story. True story. I'm here
Which is why Rom's only got a half beard.
Right. It used to be full. Now it's just.
This is where anarchy lies, right here.
That's it.
I'm sorry.
The window
Sorry,
to
Rom.
the soul.
Playing Mega Evolutioning any Pokemon gives you cancer.
And then,
God. I am fucked.
Mega Stones are carcinogenic, as are fairy types.
Oh God, I ain't even. Yeah, no. I can understand
I've
that.
opened up a can of worms there. I've got this friend who's massively was against it. Was like, fuck this, I'm never playing it, blah blah blah. 6 months later, she's like, this is the greatest thing in the world. I love it so much. I'm like, well, some integrity would be nice. But okay. Carry on.
No, I was going to say, Peter Capaldi has filed a court order that says if his image appears on a mug, he will burn in effigy.
Which would suck, because if he burned an effigy of you, they'd be like, what's he got against Tennant? I don't understand.
Oh, yeah.
What's he done?
That's it.
Much to your dismay, I believe. If you are an artist and you say yes to drawing a comic book, and you don't deliver within 6 months.
I never said yes. I never said
Roaming, no, not you, Leonie, not you. Just people in general.
I knew I wouldn't have time.
No, I know. I'm in no way. I'm just talking about in general.
Yeah, I saw how pissed off you were at that, and thought
It wasn't
so
really.
glad.
It wasn't actually. It wasn't actually at use. It's just artists in general. And this is a problem with writers as well. If you ask a writer, oh, can you write me something, and they go, yeah, sure, not a problem, that's fine, and they don't get back to you within 6 months, then roaming gangs of dolls that are alive will stab your kidneys.
No.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, that was the reason why I kind of I saw the post and was like, no, there's no way I have time for that. I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect. It's not. I'm working on several projects, and my artists are all some of my artists are busy, and they're telling me they're busy, and that's great. Some of them are ignoring me, and stab them in the eyes. Yeah. It really winds me up.
They do that, don't they?
They do, and it's like what unfortunately I get fired up about projects really quickly. So I will then write parables and just pages and pages of script, and it'll be like, make that happen, thank you, see you in 6 months. And then they go, I've drawn one of the characters, and you're like, really?
Yeah.
Because fuck you. But there are artists that work really well, and 90% of the artists I'm working with are great, and they keep me in touch, and that's cool. I think that's all the slander we can chuck about, really. We haven't accused anyone of being a paedophile. That normally happens. Not this week.
No.
Daredevil is a paedophile.
No, look, he was framed. He just couldn't see.
Yeah, he thought he was touching a woman.
Right, lovely.
Turns out he was actually touching a miner, not a coal miner.
Not a coal miner. What's he doing in a coal mine? He's just wandered off.
got lost. Of course, he's blind. He
That
thought he
would
was
suck,
saving the
wouldn't
day.
it? Daredevil's powers would suck if it was quite echoey.
Yeah, that's it. In a mine, he's like, well, I'm fucked
Oh.
here.
It's like he's going down a corridor and he goes, hello, 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 hello. He's like, there's like 12 corridors down here. Where the fuck am I going to go? Backwards, I hope. Right, okay. Well, if we can all tell the lovely people who we have been and who we continue to be. I don't understand when people say, I've been, blah, blah, blah. Well, you're probably still going to be that person when you wake up the next morning. But yeah,
Hopefully.
if we go from Mr. Dyer.
Yeah, I've been Harry Dyer.
I've been Katie.
I've been Leone.
I've been Rom.
And I've been Mike Orvis. Before you go, next week we're having a special podcast because it's Halloween and it's going to be all about villains. So, yeah, keep it geek and see you next week. See you later. Bye.
Bye.